On a typically clear and temperate day, it's easy to see why the Kumeyaay called their homeland Matarawa, the place that took care of them with bounty and good medicine. The first Europeans called it capacious, pleasant, and well-suited. Future civic leader and community visionary George White Marston called it exquisitely beautiful. Visitors from around the world have called it paradise. Over 3 million call it home. And all of us call it San Diego. In 1602, Spanish cartographer Sebastián Vizcaíno disobeyed orders when he changed the name of Juan Cabrillo's discovery from San Miguel to San Diego. But some say destiny may have taken a hand in renaming the area after a Franciscan friar canonized for his miraculous healing touch. There has always been something medicinal about the sea air. The clear skies, and the moderate year-round climate of San Diego. A mecca for hopeful consumptives, wrote one visitor. The Spanish found this new land, this San Diego, so extraordinary that Alta California Governor Jose Maria de Echandía moved the state capital here from Monterrey. He was so protective of his new home that in 1828 he arrested and imprisoned 2 fur trappers who had found their way from the east, rather than risk them returning and telling others about the paradise that was San Diego. Arriving in 1870 from Wisconsin, accompanying his ailing father, 20-year-old George Marston would write about his new home. The scenery is varied and exquisitely beautiful. The great, broad, quiet mesas. The picturesque canyons. The bold line of the distant mountains. The wide, hard ocean beaches. The Great Bay. The caves and coves of La Jolla. The unique Torrey Pines. These are but some of the features of the landscape that should be looked upon as precious assets to be preserved and enhanced. Marston envisioned a city of style and grace, a city of distinction, and the San Diego we see today strives to embody that vision with boldness and a sense of the dramatic. The angular Emerald Plaza, each slope a precise 33.5 degrees, the exact latitude of San Diego. Petco Park, home of the Padres, and a model for downtown revitalization, bringing new life to San Diego's East Village community. The chiseled features of the Grand Hyatt, at 400 feet, the tallest waterfront hotel on the West Coast. It was Alonzo Erastus Horton, though, who saw a city where others had simply seen land. In 1867, the Connecticut Yankee, who fled his home to California in hopes of curing a persistent cough, sold his San Francisco holdings and cast his lot in San Diego. He bought 800 acres of what is now the downtown area for $260 and began developing what would be called Horton's Addition. Historian Elizabeth MacPhail wrote of him, Alonzo Horton, whose vision set America's finest city in motion, called San Diego heaven on earth and the best spot for building a city I ever saw. Horton subdivided his new town with smaller blocks so there would be more high-traffic corner lots for business growth. At the same time, he gave land away to churches for free, reasoning that they would attract families to settle in Newtown. He eliminated the traditional alleyways of city planning, saying they only served to collect trash and attract undesirables, and he wanted an orderly place where people could live and thrive. By 1871, San Diego had become, in the words of renowned journalist J. Ross Brown, the most attractive point for investment and speculation on the Pacific Coast, or as far as I know it, in the United States. Alonzo Horton's vision for San Diego remains alive and vibrant, over 100 years after his passing as a poor but happy man, whose fortune had been spent on the city he loved. The sea has long been a superhighway to San Diego. Between 1855 and 1891, adventurous travelers, new settlers, gold rush prospectors, and merchant goods were welcomed by the star of the Silver Gate, the old Point Loma Lighthouse. Its beacon stood 462 feet above the surf, higher than any other lighthouse in the nation, and on a clear night, the beam of her light could be seen 20 miles at sea. Low clouds and fog common to the bay's entrance led ultimately to the raising of a new lighthouse in March 1891 at its current location on Pelican Point. Today, San Diego's waterfront continues the vitality and energy that once inspired famous city planner John Nolan to write, "The vision of this new San Diego from the bay, with the mountains noble in outline and rich in color in the background, is enough to move the most sluggish to action." The sea is San Diego's constant, and her influence on our continuing story takes on many forms. From Juan Cabrillo's first exploration in 1542 to the present, San Diego and its Great Bay has offered a safe harbor to gallant warriors. We also show respect for our military's past. The USS Midway, lead ship of her class, with a revolutionary hull design that redefined carrier warfare. She served fearlessly in the Atlantic, the Pacific, and in the Persian Gulf during her nearly 50 years of duty. Today, she has opened her decks as a revered museum where thousands have gathered to marvel at her storied history and mingle with the spirits of courageous sailors and heroic aviators of days gone by. The Star of India. Launched as the British merchant ship Euterpe in 1863, she circled the globe 21 times. The oldest iron-hulled merchant ship still afloat, the Star of India now stands alongside the 1898 ferryboat Berkeley, the HMS Surprise, and other historic sea vessels as the flagship of the Maritime Museum of San Diego. Just part of the tribute to our ocean-going heritage that can be seen all along the waterfront. The San Diego Convention Center, whose Teflon-coated sails were designed by architect Arthur Harrison to be both an inspiration and a tribute to our maritime traditions. In 1888, a scruffy, rabbit-infested hunk of land, known simply as part of the peninsula, completed its transformation into the enchanted island of Coronado. As the East dug out from yet another killer blizzard, the vision of Elijah Babcock and Hampton Story came to life as the magnificent Hotel del Coronado opened its doors for the first time. The $1 million monument to Victorian style and elegance was built in less than a year, becoming and remaining the largest wooden structure in the United States. The ceiling of its elegant crown room is constructed completely of imported spruce, using only wooden pegs to join the carefully milled planks together. The sheer size of the Del required its own steam generating plant to power its electric circuits. It was the largest installation of electric power ever undertaken at the time, and was so successful that it illuminated the entire island as well as the hotel. Today, the Grand Lady of the Isle remains an icon of romance and grace, a place where one can bid time return, nearly 125 years later. To cross the Great Bay, once nickel snatcher ferry boats were the only option. In their place, the iconic Coronado Bay Bridge now spans the channel. Opened to traffic in 1969, the bridge stands 240 feet above the bay and is uniquely designed to incorporate floating centerpieces that can be dislodged in a national emergency, allowing warships to pass through from their moorings in the South Bay. For many, Coronado is a step back into the past, both in setting and style. San Diego offers a daily love affair to anyone who'll stop to enjoy the cool caress of an ocean breeze, the warm embrace of the sun, the fresh spray of the sea, Eden was lost to the world, reported the San Diego Union in 1887, until Ocean Beach was discovered. Each grain is a magnet, wrote one grateful transplant, drawing soreness and ache from the very marrow of my bones. Much the same could be said for each mile of white sandy beach, from Oceanside to Imperial Beach. As medicinal as the beach is for the body, it is also refreshing for the mind, combining color and contrast into stunning beauty. Beneath the endless waves lies another world, a world of wonder, where Poseidon's redwoods sway in the refracted sunlight, vast kelp forests that teem with the citizens of his aquatic universe. Majestic and powerful, beautiful and intriguing. Playful and whimsical. La Jolla. The Spanish named it simply the Jewel, and no one today, resident and visitors alike, have disputed the fact that it is one of the most stunning and special places in all the world. San Diegans once rode the rails of the Abalone Limited to dive at the cove for shellfish, and swimmers still gather each day to enjoy one of the most perfect beaches in all of San Diego. La Jolla will always be the village, where once cottages had names instead of numbers, and where the lifestyle continues its unhurried, quiet pace. It is all this, and so many other things, that makes San Diego beyond compare. It is what makes us love living here, with a longing when we are away, and a grateful sigh of sweet contentment when we return. Grateful to be once more at home in San Diego. San Diego may indeed be paradise. Many of us think so, anyway. But it's also more. It's a remarkable place where nature has conspired to attract men and women whose passion would preserve her legacy for generations to come, and whose vision could build her peerless habitat into something extraordinary. For nearly 100 years, San Diego's Balboa Park has stood as a tribute to what can be achieved when a community recognizes the value of what city founders termed an unspoiled green for future generations. Under the watchful eye and green thumb of the remarkable horticulturalist and landscaper Kate Sessions, the 1,400 acres atop the flat mid-city mesa came into its own in 1915 as the bold civic gamble that was the Panama, California Exposition. It gave master architect Bertram Goodhue a living canvas on which to create what would become his most influential work. The Spanish Baroque and Spanish colonial style that reached its literal height with the striking California building, with its 200-foot tower and majestic dome. It has been called the most architecturally significant structure in San Diego. Goodhue's traditional use of churrigueresque detailing began a trend that continues today throughout the region and the state. The Spanish influence can also be seen in the Cabrillo Bridge, patterned after a bridge in Ronda, Spain, which extended Laurel Street through the park entrance and was christened El Prado after the famous Paseo del Prado in Madrid. and was continued with the addition of the Museum of Art in 1926. Balboa Park, wrote contemporary journalist J. Craig Sinclair in 2008, is the most diverse, satisfying, and beguiling combination of history, culture, science, and just sheer wonder to be found in any city park in the world. Those who dream of flight have a natural ally in the reliable breezes, clear skies, and steady afternoon drafts of San Diego, making it a natural haven for those who love to fly. Our title as Air Capital of the West has been well earned through a who's who of those magnificent men in their flying machines. In 1883, over Otay Mesa, John J. Montgomery became the first American to fly in a controlled wing aircraft, soaring 600 feet in his homemade glider, the Evergreen. In early 1911, inventor Glenn H. Curtiss set up a shop on North Island, turning what he called his winter encampment into a fledgling flying school and offering free flying lessons to Army and Navy troops in the area. Curtiss's flying school would become the North Island Naval Air Station, the birthplace of military aviation. Curtiss might have been San Diego's most illustrious aviation pioneer had it not been for a tall, lanky airmail pilot and the namesake of San Diego's International Airport named Charles Lindbergh. In the early spring of 1927, Lindbergh came to San Diego in search of an airplane that could transverse the Atlantic Ocean from New York to Paris, and he thought Ryan Airlines might be able to build just what he was looking for. On April 28th, across what was known as Dutch Flats, Lucky Lindy tested the Ryan NYP, later designated the NX-211. Lindbergh then flew it to Paris and into immortality as the Spirit of St. Louis, but whose home will always be San Diego. San Diego is a place where things grow and flourish, so it should be no surprise that ours has become a fertile ground for education, research, and global dialogue. It is a place where both the body and the spirit can blossom. In 1995, the Olympic Training Center opened in Chula Vista, dedicating 155 acres to the preparation and excellence of our nation's athletes, in sports ranging from archery to rowing. We are diverse, yet harmonious people here in San Diego who, for whatever reason, have found the secret to remaining unpretentious and have made our home, as George Marston put it, a place where people take time to be nice. It is a recurring theme throughout the city, the county, the region. Wherever you go, whether up the coast, down south, or just around the block, Cool coastal breezes turn warm and dry as they blow east across the boulders and canyons of San Diego's backcountry. A short journey inland, and the landscape is transformed from ocean cliffs and towering mesas to desert chaparral and open space. To the majestic peaks of the Cuyamacas and dramatically changing seasons. Where else can you bask on a sun-drenched beach in the morning and sled down a snowy mountain hillside the same afternoon? Nestled amongst the mountains and woodlands to the east, the town of Julian remains a popular destination for those seeking crisp, rarefied air and the smell of pine forests. In the 1870s, the historic town became a bustling boomtown after gold was discovered by Fred Coleman and H.C. Bickers. As much as $13 million worth of gold would be taken from mines in the area. About the same time the gold rush was in full swing, a farmer named James Madison imported a wagon load of apple trees to the area, where they flourished and became part of Julian's modern status as a famous center for apple products, including the world-famous Julian apple pies. San Diego County offers a panoramic mixed bag of beauty, with a topography that stretches to the Badlands of Anza Borrego and back again. Across the majestic Palomar Mountain, named by the Spanish for its great number of pigeons and doves, it is now home to the internationally acclaimed Palomar Observatory, with its 200-inch Hale telescope scanning the starry night. Above grand cascading waterfalls and unique playgrounds, before returning to the warm embrace of the Pacific. Enjoying a breathtaking change of altitude. Atop the windswept cliffs, the plush Torrey Pines Golf Course, site of one of the most memorable battles in golf history, the 2008 U.S. Open, and where once again nature takes a hand, offering a unique perspective on the flight of the ball. The world-famous San Diego Zoo, known for its leadership in conserving endangered species, was the passion of its founder, Dr. Harry Wedgeforth, who dedicated his life to introducing the thousands of creatures he called his family to an adoring and appreciative public. Asked why he had done it all, he said matter-of-factly, "I like animals, and so do we." In 1972, the Zoological Society continued Dr. Harry's vision of cageless exhibition, turning 1,800 acres near Escondido into an African habitat with an expansive sense of adventure and unique wildlife perspectives. It is now known as the San Diego Zoo's Safari Park. In an area once referred to as Weed, where the peerless Seabiscuit raced into legend, the dulcet tones of Bing Crosby will always be heard singing "Where the Turf Meets the Surf" in Old Del Mar. Nowhere is San Diego's penchant for the extraordinary more evident than in Mission Bay Park, the largest man-made aquatic park in the nation. The former False Bay is now a year-round water world of wonder. In 1964, SeaWorld invited one and all to see how the worlds of science and entertainment could come together to captivate as well as educate. Nearby, the Giant Dipper coaster, built in 1925, is yet another example of the commitment of San Diegans to save history. Condemned to the scrap heap in the 1980s, a citywide campaign not only restored the thrill of its 70-foot drop, but made it the only roller coaster in the country to have national landmark status. Now the cornerstone of Belmont Park in Mission Beach. And now delivers a front row seat to the most perfect wave in town. These are the things we all have in common as San Diegans, whether you live here or are a local only for the day. The sea air in our face, the chill mist of a waterfall, the peaceful serenity of a mountaintop, and the sunsets. The sunsets. They are what draws us to this place of bounty and good medicine, to San Diego, above and beyond.
was a beautiful day. The sky was baby blue until the clouds rolled through. Now it's a beautiful gray. I need you riding beside me. And if I seem to complain, just tell me that won't do. 'cause you're a beautiful you. When I look up at the sky, my feet get wet, and I'm always getting sand in my shoes. If I'm losing my direction, I will have no regrets, 'cause I know that I'll be losing myself with such a beautiful view. Yeah, it was a beautiful day. We took a pair of sails and away we flew, so I could spend time with you. I guess there's just no denying, just when you've seen it all, there's one more thing to do. Let's plan another day soon. When I look up at the sky, my feet get wet, and I'm always getting sand in my shoes. And when I'm losing my direction, I will have no regrets, 'cause I know that I'll be losing myself. It was a beautiful day. You riding beside me, and if I seem to complain, just tell me that won't do, 'cause you're a beautiful you. Yeah, and if I look up at the sky, my feet get wet, I'm always getting sand in my shoes. When I'm losing my direction, I will have no regrets, 'cause I know that I'll be losing myself. beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, and for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plains. America, oh America, God shed His grace on thee, yeah, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, oh America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine, yeah, yeah. And crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. From sea to shining sea. It was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day. The sky was baby blue until the clouds rolled through. Now it's a beautiful gray. I need you riding beside me, and if I seem to complain, just tell me that won't do, 'cause you're a beautiful you. When I look up at the sky, my feet get wet, and I'm always getting sand in my shoes. If I'm losing my direction, I will have no regrets, 'cause I know that I'll be losing myself with such a beautiful view. It was a beautiful day. We took a pair of sails and away we flew, so I could spend time with you. I guess there's just no denying, just when you've seen it all, there's one more thing to do. Let's plan another day soon. I look up at the sky, my feet get wet, and I'm always getting sand in my shoes. And when I'm losing my direction, I will have no regrets, 'cause I know that I'll be losing myself. It was a beautiful day. Riding beside me, and if I seem to complain, just tell me that won't do, 'cause you're a beautiful you. Yeah, and if I I look up at the sky, my feet get wet. I'm always getting sand in my shoes. When I'm losing my direction, I will have no regrets. Yes, I know that I'll be losing myself.
When you're watching shots like this in the final show format, you really don't think about how we got the shot. Unless something goes wrong, like the helicopter skid making a cameo appearance in the frame. Or getting blasted by 60-mile-per-hour winds in the Anza Borrego. This is a shot that never made it into the show, since despite the technology at our disposal, sometimes Mother Nature just gets the best of you. Hi, I'm Bob Schroeder, one of the producers and directors of San Diego Above and Beyond. What you're about to see is some of the nuts and bolts that go into making a show like this one. Something we like to call San Diego Above and Beyond, behind the scenes. The images may be inspiring, but there's a lot more to aerial photography than saying, hey, it's a beautiful day in San Diego. Let's get a camera and fly. It may be a great day, but first you have to make sure there's a helicopter available.
It's impressive.
And then there's 3 to 4 hours of work required just to get the mount ready to fly. You have to install the counterbalance rigging and actually add weight to the helicopter so that the weight from the front of the helicopter is balanced in the back so that the helicopter doesn't go into a nosedive. Usually a problem. Next, you have to attach the ball, as we call it, the computer-controlled, gyro-stabilized camera platform, valued at about $500,000, that allows the camera to almost literally float, compensating for the vibration of the helicopter and of flight itself. Then everything has to pass FAA inspection, including all the wiring and cabling inside the cockpit. Nothing can interfere with the safe operation of the helicopter.
We have a veritable television studio in here, actually.
Things falling off the helicopter over a city at 100 knots, well, that's just going to ruin everyone's day. Next, you have to be efficient. No wasted time. At somewhere around $5,000 an hour, you don't even want to waste a second. That's why there are no second take scenarios. You either get it or you don't. By the time you reset for another flyover, that shot's usually changed. And the sheer expense of staying up in the air sometimes just isn't practical, and you've got to move on to the next shot on your list. Additionally, it's a little bit hard to ask the Navy to turn around an aircraft carrier so we can get that shot of it passing by the city again. They generally say no. While Director of Photography Marty Zimmerman continues to work hard on getting the helicopter rigged, we're going over the day's flight plan. That's me on the left, my co-producer and writer Stu Smith next to me, and our pilot Ivor Shire on the right. Now, let me take a moment here to reveal a little-known trade secret. In order to have good aerial photography, one needs a golden retriever.
You have to have a golden retriever.
Have to have a golden retriever.
Well, the golden rule.
Yeah, it's a golden rule. Now, to the untrained eye, these may look like a bunch of unrecognizable scribbles, but we know it's my version of a map of the bay with the San Diego skyline behind. And we're making sure we're going to get all the angles we can while we're up.
Okay, so you're going to come around here. Take a quick look to see if anybody's on Bayside Trail.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Facilitation, installation, and preparation behind us, it's finally time to fly.
Copy that. We'll keep a heads up for the 860. In fact, we have visual on them now.
Once we're in the air, the pilot, the Westcam operator, the Westcam system, and even the director in the back looking at a monitor have to be in sync to make the shot pay off. Here's the same system working the Baja 1000. You can see how the counterbalance system is working and how agile the helicopter has to be. Not to mention the skill needed by the pilot flying at 120 knots, 15 feet off the ground. For San Diego Above and Beyond, we're not chasing desert racers, but the agility of the system and Marty's skill as an operator allows us to get shots like this one. And on this day, flying over the city and getting set up to capture pictures of the aircraft carrier Makin Island as she made her way into the bay. But in this case, everything worked perfectly. Well, at least reasonably perfectly, making a great sequence in a great program about a great city. San Diego Above and Beyond. I hope you enjoyed it.